Hey Cakenistas, it's Marisha, and guess what finally happened? I was definitely worried for this day. I knew it was gonna happen. AI hit my inbox. That's right. You know how you can always tell when a picture's made from AI? The fingers will be off. It'll be like 4 fingers or like a 6 finger. It'll be like crazy. The limbs will be off. If it's a cake, you'll see a piping bag that turns into a paintbrush at some point. It doesn't have everything down pat just yet. I finally received an email with a cake that was produced by artificial intelligence. I looked at it and I was like, at first quick glance, you're like, oh my goodness, somebody put some work into this cake. And then I look and I'm like, wait a minute. Why does that puppy have one thick leg? Why does that puppy only have head and shoulders? Why is that puppy looking a little bit crazy? Oh my goodness, look at the pearls. So I was like, oh my gosh, I hope that she knows that this is an AI cake. I met her at one of my vendor events. They were so amazing. I was like, I can't say no. I can't. Like, I have to do this cake. If you have not done so yet, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, press on the notification bell, and the sun is crazy. The sun's got me looking like an orange. The flavor of this cake is marble. I love marble. It's basically chocolate and vanilla swirl. So you would just go ahead and make your favorite chocolate cake batter, make your favorite vanilla cake batter, and then I like to do layers. Vanilla, then chocolate, then vanilla, then chocolate, so on and so forth, and then just do a quick swirl. I made 2 layers of the square cake and then 3 layers of an 8-inch cake and a 6-inch cake. The night before, made a bunch of roses in rose colored, white, and beige. Some are molds. This is a silicone mold. What accent was that? Silicone mode activated. And I decided that I would do half of the batch using the mold and then the other half by hand so that you can see that definition. I definitely wouldn't use that mold for the whole cake. This looks like somebody's signature, does it not? Does it look like I did that on purpose? Because I did. Okay. My square cake is going down on my 16-inch cake board. I'm using some royal icing on the base to make sure that it's glued to the base. And then I'm going to smooth it out just a bit. Is this smooth truly and completely? Nah. But we'll worry about that later. Now I'm going to take an 8-inch cake pan just so I can see where my next cake is gonna go. I'm using Swiss meringue buttercream here, and I froze the cake overnight. Y'all know that freezes solid. I could not get my bubble tea straws into my cake at all. Oops. Golly. After 30 literal minutes of fighting for my life, I finally got those straws in there, and now I could put my 8-inch cake on top of the square cake. That was insane. I've never gone through that before. That was crazy. I actually was injured from that, believe it or not, because the straw, it's a long story. Though people don't know what we go through, Cakenistas, to make their cakes look amazing. This can be a dangerous job. I was like, okay, I'm gonna make it nice and tall. I want it to look glamorous. I absolutely love the color. I love that it's beige. I love that it's giving like a tea time, formal, glamorous. It's definitely right up my alley. It's definitely couture. We just have to make those pearls connect and have the dogs make sure that they all have the same size legs. Even though, you know, hey, we're not judging those dogs who don't have the same size legs. Now I'm gonna drill a wooden dowel all the way through the cake into the cake board. Anybody else love this part because it feels like we are absolutely doing construction at this point. Once I'm done that, I'm going to once again fill in the seams with some royal icing. And yes, the royal icing is white. I didn't color it on purpose because for some reason I just really like the look of the white in between the beige. I know. I made some fondant strings of pearls using a silicone mold, and I put the pearls in a sandwich bag so that they would stay soft during my whole decorating situation. We're going to make sure that these pearls not only connect but are uniform with one another. I also had just a slight issue with this because the cake was so wet due to it being frozen and then coming out in room temperature, and once again it is summer. You can combat this by spraying some cornstarch on the cake or misting the cornstarch. I know that sounds weird. So I'm going to utilize that moisture. However, this does take a lot of patience because I had to keep on lifting up those pearls, placing them back where I needed them to go. But once again, that's all it takes. You gotta be patient. This is artistry right here. Now mind you, the fondant is not perfect. I make my fondant from scratch, which is already like, woo-ha! I know how to do wonderful patchwork when it comes to fondant. I'm not concerned about it, especially because I'm gonna put between 20 and 30 puppies up on this bad boy, okay? It will be covered, it will be okay. I started to put random pearls on there, like the picture, and then I decided that that didn't look good, so I took that off. Now I'm gonna begin applying my roses and my dogs. I was so excited for this. Once again, using some royal icing for the bottom of their feet. My biggest thing was, how am I going to make sure that these dogs don't fall over, because putting toys on cake can be very difficult, especially when it's fondant. So I definitely made some royal icing. I'm using that anyway to cover the seams between the cakes, but I'm also going to use that on the base of every foot. I'll never forget, I was delivering a cake and it had 4 toy toppers. I was so excited first off, like, yes, cake is looking good, let's take it to her door. All the toys fell over, and of course she saw me from the door and was like, hey Marisha, and I was like, hey, and I wanted to say, just wait right there while I fix this. And it was ridiculous because it was buttercream. You would think that the toys would just nicely stick in the buttercream. I fixed it as best as I could, and then I handed her the cake and they just fell over again. And I was like, the toys are kind of falling over. Just, you know, it's not a big deal. Just stand them up, you know, before you serve it. And she was like, oh yeah, that's fine. Like, she was so cool about it, but that was so embarrassing. By the next few times that I had cakes with toy toppers, I was using wet fondant to stick that fondant paste to the fondant cake. And that was okay. That's not a bad method. But then I'm like, what do people use? Like, what do other people use? This is something that I never thought to look up. And then I think I saw one post and she was using royal icing. And I said, why in the world didn't I think of that? Royal icing can hold together a house. You can build your house with bricks and royal icing and it will stand strong. You'll see what happens during delivery when I decide to post that video. But for now, I am so pleased with how this cake is turning out. I was so nervous about this design. I was like, this is not gonna look cute. But all in all, it actually looks like a wedding cake, especially because it looks like I put a couple on top of the cake. Does it not look like a male and a female dog, like they're madly in love? And I could not think of what else to put up. Like, I added another dog, but it just looked weird. And then I could have had one dog, but then that looked like the leader of the, I don't know. It looks like a wedding cake. I would love a wedding cake for my birthday. So I do have a couple little nicks on there that I'm gonna hide with gold. What better to hide a mistake than with gold leaf? Another thing about that AI cake was that all of the dogs were within the color scheme. They were black, white, beige, and brown. And that's something that I couldn't control. I couldn't control the type of dog or the color of dogs that Amazon was going to send me. Instead, I was just very strategic with my placement of the dogs onto the cake. The dogs that matched the theme and that were the cutest, I put them on the first and second tiers. I put the ones that were kind of like, what are these little babies? How'd they get in the pack? Like that highlighter one right there, that's on the side of the cake. So you see him, but you don't see him first. There's a fox or something in the back of the cake. You know, there's some random little puppies. We love them all the same. But to be in the front, they have to look good. This is a special moment here. I decided, hey, let me see how these pearls are looking now that the cake is finished. They look great. So I added some individual fondant pearls randomly onto the cake. So now I'm going to add my leaves, and seriously, leaves always add that perfect finishing touch to whatever flowers you do, obviously, because, you know, flowers have leaves. I went within that muted green tone, the same tone of the cake. I'm really trying to get into colors, tones, shades, all that stuff. And I think that it completed the look. It's like you've got these gorgeous dogs smelling these beautiful roses. It's fancy, it's classy, it's couture, and it's delicious, and it's completely from scratch. That's the best part. At least that's what I like about my cake. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see y'all in the next one. Couture in a 3-tiered puppy cake. Bye guys. I was actually able to film the delivery of this cake, which was a story in itself. It almost fell. I'm just gonna say, thank goodness I can drive with my knees. But anyway, I'm gonna make a separate video on the delivery of this cake. So this was a wonderful contact that I made. This is a perfect example of going out to these vendor events and doing the pop-up shops in the markets and making great connections and then being able to make a new customer. Okay, the Cakenista comment of the day is going to go to, wow. Okay, this is new. I have to say it now because I'm reading it. Miss Bianca Davis, 8762, on my bakery pop-up in 90-degree heat video, which was crazy. Y'all, I wish I could have shown you guys me building the cupcake case. It was almost too stressful to film because I literally had customers walking past, or could have been customers walking past, and they weren't coming in because they still saw me working. And if I would have stopped, I thought that I did record, but I guess I didn't because I couldn't find anything, but it just would have been too much time. Anyway, okay. Miss Bianca says, girl, did she really just come over to show you her purchase and then go and walk away and say, I'd rather have this and tap her box? Some people, LOL. Yes, she did. If you don't know the clip that she's referring to, this is the clip. Well, that's good. That was a nice little buy for today.
For $5?
Oh, yeah. That's
How
great.
much it really was.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And the money goes towards the American Cancer Society.
Oh, well, that's even better.
Yes.
You can't beat
I'd
that.
rather have this.
Yeah. Alright. That was awkward. Why do we have to mind about her, I don't think she was saying instead of my cake. I think she was saying, like, if she was gonna spend $5, she'd rather have the app. She actually went to 4 other vendors nearby, probably more, and did the same thing. And I heard people saying, oh, that's nice. She showed us the original price, $40. Like a radio slash speaker, something that we bought in the 90s and the early 2000s. And they were reselling it to her because it was never open. But she was very happy for her. So hey queen, you better play that music. I look so bright. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to all the new and the OG Cakenista subscribers that we have here on the channel. I am so appreciative of you all. And I have a lot of videos to come. So please make sure that you keep on commenting, sharing, subscribing, and follow me on social media. I would love to see you guys on Instagram at Mauritius_couture_cakes and Facebook Mauritius Couture Cakes. That would be just a delight. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, Cakenistas.